Welcome in, guys, back to another episode, an extra episode of Video Game Replay. We're here because I won the Super Bowl score challenge. So joining me
Boo.
today, joining me today, the guy that's booing me, our Asian co-host Larry. What's going on?
Hi y'all, how you doing? I hate CJ. How you doing, eh?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Staying healthy, staying warm, staying fleek. You already know.
All right, so let's see. What do I want to dive into here first? I guess I got a question for you guys first. We've been doing this little
Okay.
question segment. I want to start with it. Simple 3 word for you. Not too much thought to be into it. Aiden, are you happy? Simple question.
That's a tough one.
That's what I want to know. Guess it was tougher than I thought.
Is this like right now, overall, in life?
Overall,
I mean,
are you happy? Yeah,
mm,
in life overall.
mm.
Wow, this is getting a little deep. Do
This is
you
getting
want? I
deep.
mean,
Want to think about it?
I can go first if you guys want. I thought about it
Yeah, you
first. I
go
guess.
first.
Okay. Overall,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm happy. I feel like everybody could be happier, but hey, my life's not too bad. I'm here. I'm here with my friends. Got some stuff that I want. I'm living pretty well. I'm alive. So could always have more money, but it's whatever. I'm pretty happy overall. Got some nice family, nice friends, nice dogs. Pretty happy. Could be a lot worse. So I think overall, I'm pretty happy with my life. Boom. Aiden, I'm back to you. Pressure's back.
I think I'm a pretty happy guy. I'm a happy guy, but I'm I'm not always happy with myself. If that makes sense. I'm kind of a lazy guy and
That's
I'm kind of a
valid.
bigger guy, and I want to work on those qualities. But I am striving to be even more happy in the future when those qualities improve.
I like it. I like it. Larry, back us up. We're all happy. Please be happy with us.
Man, it. You said simple 3-word question, and I was ready for that, and then you asked like almost like the deepest question you could think of. Um,
Deepest 3 word question possible.
yeah. I mean, shit. I think if I strip away all the bullshit around me, yeah, I'm happy. I mean, I got a great wife. I've got 3 kids who, I couldn't ask for better kids. I got buddies that, help me keep my brain straight, so I can't complain there. I mean, I'm living decent in the first world. Could be living better, but I think we all could. But like I say, if I don't add anything else to it, I'm happy. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
grumpy. I'm old, but you know, to the end of the day, like I say, when it comes down to what's important, yeah, I'm pretty happy. I think.
Yeah, that's why I asked, because I guess thinking about it, you guys obviously know I'm moving, so there's the financial aspect of it, and I kind of think, and I'm like, wait, everything's kind of okay. It's really overall everything's going pretty good. Like I'm eating, I could eat food, I got a house, everything's actually pretty good. So that's kind of why I brought it up. Kind of opened my eyes with a little bit of the stress of moving. Kind of was like, things aren't that bad. So I think a lot of us are probably happier than we typically think. So I like it. I'm glad everybody else is happy with me. um,
Well, again, like I say, I was expecting something simple about ketchup or mustard, but
yeah,
um,
yeah. What's your
yeah,
favorite flavor of ice cream?
I guess
Mustard.
yeah, just as simple. Like I say, are you happy? But I'll make a quick plug here because I thought about this and all this. If anyone out there has a question that's not so deep, send us an
Yes,
email, vgrpod@gmail.com.
Yes.
Um, hopefully,
definitely.
hopefully it'll keep us from trying to figure out the problems of the universe and ask something simple. Uh, but quick plug. Sorry, I want to throw that out there.
Nope, I'm with you. I was about to say the same thing. Throw us a couple simple ones. We can, if they're simple, we can probably bust out a few that take less thought, like ketchup or mustard and stuff. 5 or 6 of them, bust them out real quick. So we could always get into something like that. But yeah. I mean, so we're all happy. Larry, what games have you been playing that's been making you happy lately?
Wow. I mean, damn. Now I'm getting just piled on here. Um, let's see here. What have I been into? I picked back up Vampire Survivors here. It's the last time I touched it, they just came up with a Castlevania appreciation pack, where you can pick up all these different Belmonts and do like an ode to Castlevania level, where you fight a lot of creatures, zombies, and bosses and stuff that are from the Castlevania franchise spread throughout. I find it like I say, it's just a good numb. It kind of keeps you at 30 minutes per game kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 'cause I've been playing a little bit of that, and pretty much just taking all my extra time outside of what we've been playing this week. I've been trying really hardcore to knock that out, but Empire Survivors. I know it's not new, it's not fresh, but it's still a good game. And like I say, if you haven't tried it, give it a shot. It's worth your time and money. It's a good. I want to say it's a $10 deal if anywhere, but
Nice.
either way,
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Like it. I like it. Aiden, rumor has it you've been playing a lot of Switch lately. Tell me what's been going on the Nintendo side.
I've been playing a lot of Switch. I don't believe I've played any Mario Kart, but I have played. I have played a game. Thanks to our co-host Larry here. Let me borrow Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Not necessarily a new or a fresh game, but new and fresh to me. Uh, yeah, I mean the game's pretty sick. I've pretty much played past couple days. I've got probably close to 10 hours in the past couple days at work. Playing a lot. So yeah,
Sounds about right.
uh, playing no Mario Kart. I've played this game called Repo. It's a little fun horror game. If you ever played, I can't think of it, but CJ help
Lethal
me out.
Company.
If you ever played Lethal Company,
Yeah.
it's kind of like that. Maybe a little bit more polished version of that, with some different concepts and monsters and stuff. But yeah, I mean, other than that, little Marvel Rivals, of course. I'm close to Grandmaster in that game on ranked. I'm getting there. Probably by next week I'll be Grandmasters, but yeah, pretty much it. No Mario Kart.
None.
No, yeah. Update is, I got the Switch. I'm pretty happy. Been playing a lot of Pokken Tournament DX. Been loving it. It's like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter meets Pokemon. So if you're a Pokemon fan, it's a fun little throwaway game. I've been sitting on my new indoor exercise bike I picked up for $20 at an estate sale and just playing the shit out of it. So been
Sure.
nice to sit on that and do it. And Aiden is lying about Mario Kart. I think it's either 6 or 7, but we played 6 or 7 four race circuits, and I've kicked the shit out of them every single time. I found my niche, so it's really happening here. If
One of us is
anybody,
lying here, and it's not me. I don't recall this at all. This is blasphemy. This is ridiculous. Cannot believe a lie like this would be shared, but I have not played any Mario Kart.
yeah,
Blasphemy.
don't listen to him. Don't listen to him at all. Yeah, he's the guy you pointed out, Larry. The guy that holds he's in the cloud that holds the little thing. What's his
Lakitu.
name? Yeah, Nerd Turtle, Lakitu. That's Aiden. So I'm a Bowser Jr. guy. The way I was talking shit, it was pretty fitting. So yeah, that was a nice. Haven't played Mario Kart in years, so it's nice to come out on top 7 times in a row. So trying to push for more. To the dynasty here.
I would join you guys, but I'm eternally suck at Mario Kart now. I already know this, so I don't want to make Aiden feel better about it. So
I can imagine if I were to play it, I probably wouldn't be that good, but I will never know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll leave it at that and pivot underground, I guess. Here, we're gonna talk about
ooh,
Undertale, game of the week,
sweet
the
transition.
extra picked by yours truly. Maybe gladly, maybe sadly, but there's only one way to find out. Got to keep listening to find out here. So basically, game's about 10 years old now, almost. You're hitting that mark. It came out September 2015. Single dude coming out here developing and publish it. Toby Fox, shout out him. Anytime you're making a game, on your own, pretty much, props to you. Something I couldn't do. So, wish we got the Kanye solo game that was rumored at times, but never came out. But Toby Fox, he made a game. It's kind of like a role playing game. I like to add the puzzle element to the genre. Personally, I think there's a lot of puzzles involved. If you look it up, it's going to tell you it's role playing, which definitely has role playing elements. But basically, it's a top down kind of perspective. You're controlling a child in the game, and you've fallen into the underground. That's why we pivoted down there. It's this large secluded region, under the surface of the earth, separated by a magical barrier. And basically, the player's going to meet various monsters, and stuff like that. It's gonna go through different objectives to progress through the story, and you're gonna explore the underground world, which is loaded with towns and caves. And like I said, gonna have to solve a lot of puzzles to get through it. There's a couple that gotta just look up. At least I had to look up, but there's a couple good puzzles as well. Um, It's the home of the monsters, though. So throughout the whole thing, you're gonna run into monsters, kind of like similar to Pokemon when you're walking in tall grass. You're gonna run into monster, it's gonna pop out. Kind of some zany characters that you're running into in that process. And you have a couple different options, which actually weigh really heavy on the outcome of the story. You can kill them, you can flee from them, you can befriend them and talk to them, which you kind of get a gist of in the intro. The intro kind of gives you the rundown, but it will affect the progression in the plot depending on what you do in these battles. And it's kind of got a little niche combat system, which is kind of first that I've seen of it. So, but basically, your morality is gonna really be the big pivoting role playing element of the game. You know, depending on how you act in combat throughout the game and stuff like that. It's really gonna affect the role playing of what kind of person you are in the game. So, it's kind of a different game for me. So, I mean, first impression in my book, you know, music came out fucking swinging, dude. I think the music came out awesome from the jump, and it really pulled me in. I mean, I was intrigued right from the jump. Big first impression, pretty good one. First impression is the most important. Good first impression, Aiden. It pressed you good in the first time.
First impression, I played this game a little bit a while ago, probably about 30 minutes. First impression when I played it then was game didn't pique my interest. I was not that interested in it. It didn't catch my eye. I was like, this is cool. I just wasn't in the mood at the time. And then when it came back up for our extra when CJ picked it here because he had never played the game and heard a lot of hoops and hollers about it, so we picked it. I hopped back into it and I actually enjoyed it a lot more as I went through the game. I actually found a lot of the dialogue funny. For some parts of it is just like kind of random nonsense that I found funny. And a real interesting thing that happens when you play this game, there's no voice acting, but you truly like just through like the expressions and emotions and action of these characters, you can like kind of understand their feelings. Interestingly enough, like somehow, I feel like that's it's really special. Mixed with, I really like the format of the attacking in this game or the battles. It's really unique and fun. But yeah, first impressions, I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would, based on my previous go at it. What do you think, Larry? You have
Good to
a
know.
similar, different experience? From previous talking to my co-host here. I think I might be an outlier here for.
I, I have played a ridiculous amount of RPGs in my day. Um, I used to play a lot on PCs. I've been searching for a classic one, which I thought was Ultima. Then maybe it was Might or Magic. I don't know. I've played so many of them. There's one actually, Legend of Farrago, which I think is on PC as well. Um, I'll throw out a quick story. First and only full price game my father ever bought for me was Final Fantasy, and he bought it for me at $60 for the Nintendo the day I went to my sixth grade math field day. Lost
Yep.
my ass, but still I made it, and that was well enough that he decided he was going to buy me a game, and I played the fucking shit out of that game. Um, but yeah, I went through a lot of it, played a lot of D&D, a lot of different things. So I'm very familiar with American and JRPGs, and I knew coming into this that first 10, 20 minutes of it is not going to completely hook you. It's got to just it's got to set the pace. And the problem is I couldn't find what it was trying to really lead me towards. I mean, I guess yes, you're this child trying to get out of the underground. Um, but I just I don't know. Like I couldn't get too into it. I'd put it down. I'd give it a fair shot. Now my oldest daughter came through. She every time she's seen it on there, she's like, "I love this game. I love this game." And I'm going to still try before we post this to see if I can get her at least to give me 2 minutes of comment on it, and we'll post it somewhere in this. But I I tried my best to give it its opportunity, and up until I hit the I think it's Snowtown,
hmm
uh I felt like it was a struggle. And that's really where my first impression was is this was dragging me to a point, and we'll go from that point there, and we'll touch more later.
That's it. Yeah, that's valid feedback. I kind of like we have two opposing forces here. I'm kind of into it. We don't see a lot of it because we normally pick fantastic games to a broad audience. So, like Felix the Cat. But if we want to pivot into what it looked like, I was kind of a fan. I kind of picked this game in a way because I felt like the 8-bit nature of it kind of fits the theme of the NES that we've been touching so much on. So I didn't hate that. It felt really simple, and like I said, made by one guy. Props to you for making a game like that. I didn't mind the overhead view. The overhead view wasn't bad, and I really think the themes of it were really nice. I thought the way it looked and was designed, I really did. I felt like I fell into a damn pit in the underground. I didn't know where the hell I was. So I'll give him some props on that from what it looked like. Thought it looked good because of that. Like I said, the graphics really kind of helped me fall into the underground myself and dive into the game. So I mean, Larry, back me up.
It does have a very good 8-bit aesthetic to it. I'll give you that. It did it well. Like you said, you can tell at points that you fell into the underground. There's light where the hole is. You wander through pure blackness before you see the next thing. It kind of pure, not purely lit, but poorly lit. So it's got the very
Mhm.
dark aesthetic. So to see colors and stuff pop up in certain spots was kind of like helping it develop. I do like I say, in a simpler 8-bit, very straightforward graphic style. I thought it did really well. The creatures looked good. Everything was definable for what it was. Um, I mean, I got no complaints. I think, like I say, for what style he was trying to pull, Toby here, good job, man. Very good job on the graphics. How about you, A? How'd you see this?
I I I want to say for what I believe he was trying to pull off, I believe it's perfect. It's kind of like the Pokemon aspect for like you see a character and like oh it looks a little 8-bit, but when you attack him like his model appears on a screen a lot more detailed, and as you fight him or or seek or do dialogue with him or spare him or whatever, their expressions change. And I really like that. I think that was very intentional. Yeah, I think the graphics look really good for what it is. You can tell what everything is. You don't have I never ran into a spot where oh that looks like something or that looks like something and I die or something or I walk into a wall. I don't didn't really have that experience. I think everything with the overhead view it was done very well. And just for game design, I mean the stages looked great to me. This game, I hope you guys understand what I'm getting at here. It has a very cozy aesthetic, and it fits
That's a
that
good
very
word.
well. Yeah, and I thought it looked great too.
Yeah, no, I think that was a good word for it. Cozy. It really does fit into it. I would love to bring up my personal favorite aspect of this game. Uh, where I first heard sounds from this game was actually on TikTok, Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, YouTube Short. The eerie music when you're first talking to Toriel. Once you fall down in there and she's kind of saving you, introducing you. Never knew where that song came from, and that's honestly why I picked it in a way as well. I was like, dude, this is so good. And throughout the game, they really nail not just the music that they put into the game. I think the sound effects, the switches of the puzzles, the combat noises, all of it. I really think that they did do that very well. And like I said, that's really what first pulled me into the game. I loved the music and sounds of this game. Aiden, I know you're a guy
Yeah,
that can appreciate it too. Back
I
me
can
up.
appreciate a
TikTok
good
got you.
soundtrack. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, not only when you're talking to whatever the girl's name is, the cow
Toriel.
demon girl, yeah, yeah. I mean, even from that soundtrack, you progress through the game, and even if you go on a YouTube playlist and listen to all the songs, you're gonna find about 5 or 6 more that are like iconic. And it's so rare for a game that came out 10 years ago to have this
Yeah.
much of an impact on this generation's like cultural music. But it really did. Like it's insane. You hear you hear these soundtracks that you recognize from the 90s like the DuckTales Moon Level I keep bringing up every episode, but like that really like that was very good, but like that's been that was like 40 like 30 some years ago. Like it's been floating that has been floating around for a long time and has kind of integrate into the culture. I feel like it's so rare to have, especially I'm not sure if the soundtrack was made by the same single publisher. I assume it
Hmm.
probably was, but I don't know. He could have hired people, but it's so rare for this much impact from a solo published game made only 10 years ago. I feel like that's it's special, and it kind of speaks on the quality of the music alone.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great point, really, Larry. I know. No, you gotta appreciate the soundtrack here. That face is telling me other words.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna say it was music. Um, I I don't know if it's because I've spent the last 10 years of my life either playing video games in my headset or just in silence. Um, but I mean, like I say, I know what we're doing in this. I wanted to give it the fair shot that we are gonna give it. I was not moved. I didn't feel that it was, helping me take the atmosphere that it's trying to do with it. I don't recall any real battle sounds at all. I even went and tried to listen to a little bit of the soundtrack online, and the snippets of it just didn't move me. I'm not a fan, and I mean, I I
Wow.
I think I have an ear for music to some degree, but on the same token, I don't know why, but this didn't do it for me at all.
This might be one of this might be one of the most different like opinions like per game that we've
Yeah,
had. Like I feel like we're all at
I
different
think so.
opinions here, and it's interesting. I like it. I mean, that's what we're here for. We're not
I do
sugarcoating it.
too.
We're gonna give our own opinions. We're not gonna just say the game's great if it's well perceived or supposed to be a good game. If we don't personally like it, that's gonna be our opinion, and you just gotta live with it.
Yeah. Go look at my Contra video if you want to see my opinion in the Contra video, guys.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
you
you'll
gave
find that out to be the truth.
Contra
Contra
like
like
a
a three
5,
or
yeah,
something,
a 3 or 4.
maybe a 3 or 4.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
probably I think it was a 3 or 4. You're gonna find different opinions on this channel. You might shrivel up your face when you hear it, but we can't help our opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I get it. I'm gonna lean into Larry's side here. Larry, I want you to start us off on your least favorite parts of the game. Bridge it over to me because I think it's gonna go me or you, me, and Aiden is how I think we're gonna feel about the least favorite parts. So go, start swinging first for us. First up to bat.
All right. Well, like I said, I started this. I felt lost. I didn't know where I was going. Didn't know what I was really going. I mean, it's pretty linear. I think it leads you through the story, and I may be seeing it wrong, but I think by as far as I got to this, I felt like I was reading a book, and I didn't like the book that I was reading. Um, I didn't find any excitement in people I was fighting. I felt you had to read every bit of it to actually fight these characters, which I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how far one got or how whatever, but my understanding is you're not actually supposed to fight any of them. So at this point, now I feel like, that is the only thing you're doing is reading, learning about a character I don't give a shit about, and trying to figure out how to get out of this without being in a fight. So I don't know, but I don't mind to read. I like to read. I just didn't like reading this, and that's how I felt was reading a book that I just didn't give a shit about. This is Macbeth in high school all over again.
I no, I actually agree with you a lot on that. It's different for sure, and it's kind of ironic coming from somebody that is such a fan of Pokemon games. Because there is a lot of reading in Pokemon games. Like Aiden said, no voice actors in this, similar with Pokemon, and that's one of my favorite series ever. So it's kind of an ironic, weird view from my point, but I line up a lot with you. I would rather play the game than read the game. I'm not a big fan of super in-depth story games that don't have cinematics and things to walk like the voice to walk me through it and paint the story. So I'm kind of with you. I'm not a big fan of reading actually. So, that might have been a downside in my head there. And I'm really bad at puzzles. God, man, I should have picked a different game if I was looking to avoid puzzles. A lot of puzzles in this game that sometimes I felt overwhelmed and was like, "Damn, I just fucking finished a puzzle, man. I'm trying to explore a little bit or something." And back to another puzzle. I know Aiden, I know you like the comedic kind of breaks in the humor. One guy that specifically pissed me off was the two skeleton brothers. they were on my fucking nerves from the jump. I'm gonna be honest with you. The one dude just kind of looks like he's doing like the fucking MC Hammer shuffle the whole fucking time. The little fat one with his hands in his pocket. The other one kind of looks like the Grim Reaper off Billy and Mandy, and just he's pissing me off. He was just stupid as shit. And I get it was supposed to be a little comic, but man, it was driving me crazy. Some of the characters are a little zany, kind of fit the theme, so I won't harp on that too much. But Aiden, tell us the the shorter list of things that you dislike. I imagine.
I also want to touch. I can't believe I'm disagreeing with you guys hard here. Uh, I I can appreciate reading if I find enjoyment out of it. I don't love reading that I don't like, and I understand if you don't find enjoyment out of it, you're not gonna like reading. So I understand that point, but uh, I mean, reading you really as you fight, there's like a depth to each character, and you can spare them. It's not like you're. There's a lot of people you can't spare. If you notice, when you press spare and their name isn't yellow, then you can't spare them. It'll just waste your turn, and you'll just have to fight them again. But so there's a lot of characters like that. But usually there's if there's a weak character or a cute looking character or someone that's like doesn't necessarily want to fight you all that much, and you hit them and you can see that they're weak, you can spare them. And I feel like that adds. I like what that adds. I'm actually trying to. There's not a whole lot that I really hate about the game. I mean, it's just the little intro part. Maybe this is what the little intro part where you finally defeat Dune. I think that's her name. Or you don't finally defeat her, but you end up beating Nduna, the cow demon girl that let you into her
Okay,
house.
yeah.
That's kind of like all leading up that is kind of like the intro in a way, and I feel like that definitely can turn off people that are starting to the game. You definitely go through that, and it's a little boring. You're understanding the game. You don't get the levels, and the board aesthetics aren't really up to what the rest of the game is. So it can kind of be a turn off.
Fair.
I mean, you can kind of spend 30 to 40 minutes in that through that tutorial there before you finally beat Indune, and then you get
Actually get into
and then you get the
yeah.
Undertale screen, and then it goes to the actual game. So I think maybe that could have been shortened a little bit or tightened up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't have a ton of critiques about the game. I mean, I really liked it.
Okay, yeah, different opinions flaring here. Different opinions flaring here.
Hmm.
Um, one thing that you said that I will touch on, Aiden. I can appreciate the combat. I know you said, there was some depth to it, and I can appreciate the aspect of, reading into the if you can spare it because of the name colors and overall the combat itself. It was very unique, which it wasn't for me, so I won't say that I disliked it because I do feel like it was a good add to the game because it was so unique. I've never really seen a combat system like that where you're the little heart dodge and stuff. I really appreciate it, but I don't I don't think I would love it, but I appreciate that it was in the game. So I'd say, it's kind of one of my favorite parts of the game that it did have that uniqueness that a lot of games don't have, anymore. A lot of games are copycats of other games because we've had so many successful games at this point in time. But I mean, it was fun to look at, honestly. I think, I did really enjoy the thematics of it. Larry, I know the music didn't touch you as much as me and Aiden, but I think I liked the way that the music tied into the background. I thought there were some small details with stuff floating around, even on the second level, pushing the snow out of the puzzles. I thought some of the puzzles were interesting, and I think some of the attention to detail is pretty nice for a single guy making the game. So that's definitely thematically and the detail. It helps me get through the game. I think. Larry, meet me. I feel like I'm in the middle of you two in a way. You know what I mean? Let's go bad first.
Well, I appreciate the game. I mean, like I say, it's really just kicking in, not my cup of tea. And I think you're gonna get that when you truthfully hit a lot of different type of role playing games.
For sure.
I just I say I found a hard time, like the initial the cow demon lady or whatever. It was creepy. That was kind of creepy, really, when you got to it. So
Yeah.
I'm expecting a little creepy pasta kind of happening, so I'm getting ready to go with
Mhm.
that, and then it's like the next major character you run to is Pharaoh, or at least his little brother, or however, and I'm just like, okay, can we move on from this, please? And then I realized looking at it, playing it, that's like, oh shit, these two are like actually like main characters in this whole fucking thing. And I can't say that I ran into a whole lot of even realizing that the puzzles were there. I mean, they felt more like tasks than puzzles.
Agreed.
Um, but I mean, I found it really weird that did anyone else not find it weird that Pharaoh was more than happy to be dating this little kid or whatever the hell she is? I mean, that was weird to me. So I started to get the creepy feels again. Um, but on a positive note of it, yeah, I mean, I do appreciate the battle system. The whole defense from, keeping your heart there. I did get confused with the blue heart thing. Um, but I'm, again, from a classic RPG guy, I prefer just basically say attack, see some numbers roll, and keep
Yeah,
moving.
agree.
Again, and not to say I can't appreciate a game that wants you to have some action in what you're doing in that. One off the top of my head would be Super Mario RPG.
Okay.
When you're in a turn-based battle with that, there's timing mechanisms that are built into that game that keeps you into it. So you can make Mario jump, he takes off. If he lands on the enemy and you hit A at the right time, you can continue to jump like you would like to get the multiple
Yep.
extra men jumps that Mario would do. So yeah, like I say, something different. It doesn't bother me, and like I say, I kind of appreciate that this game. It kept you into it. But then we went back to we got to read to see what this guy feels or how he thinks, or if you got to flirt with him or do this and that. And I'm just like, it's I don't know. I don't know. I'd be the same guy who would bitch about grinding in an
Mhm.
RPG, but I didn't want to read this shit, man. Just let me fight this thing or do whatever I gotta do and move to the next thing. And maybe that's where I lose some of my love for it. Uh, but I guess yeah. As towards my favoriteest thing of this, it had to be just the battle mechanic because that's about the only retaining thing I really felt like I've come out of this so far.
I like it, dude. We're opposite forces, and I feel like I'm just in between. I really do like you. Got good cop, bad cop, and mad cop here. Good cop talking to us.
I gotta. I mean, once again, I'm completely 180 my opinion, or I'm completely opposite of Larry's opinion here. I really like the mechanic. I feel like if we go to a point where we're comparing it and wanting it to be a different RPG game and comparing it, like this is an extremely unique game made by an indie solo publisher. It's not like any other game that I've ever played. I feel like if we go into and trying to like live up expectations or expecting different RPG mechanics in a game like this, I feel like it's not fair to hold that against it. Like we're saying, well, I wish it had this and other RPG games. I just want to see numbers roll out. Well, I mean, it's just not that type of game, and I understand if it's not your cup of tea, but I feel like it's kind of unfair to hold that against it. And I will say, at first, the flirting with I think Papyrus hit that guy. It's a
Mhm.
little weird, but if you as you go further, I'm looking at it from a half glass full kind of perspective. Uh, I feel like the kid is just talking his ear off to try to just get through. Obviously, I don't think the kid feels for the skeleton. I think he's just talking the ear off trying to get through. And it ends up if you play further into it, they go on a date and then you keep talking his ear off, and then he says, "Wow, wow, you like me?" And he's like, "Well, actually, I don't have any feelings for you in that way, but we can be friends in a platonic way." He literally says that. He says, "We can be friends platonically."
Hmm.
And it's kind of like a comedic thing. Like it leads up to it. It seems like you're flirting his ear off, and he's like, "Oh, that's so great. That's awesome. Well, I don't feel that way, and we can be platonic friends." And it kind of goes into that. Uh, I want to say, and also I did look it up because I feel like we were gotten it wrong, but we were. The cowgirl's name that you have to like fight after she lets you stay in her house. Her name is Toriel.
That's what I said from the
No, you,
jump.
no, you did
Run the
not, bro.
tape
Roll
back.
the tape
I
back.
promise. I said. I promise. How much you want to? Wait. You want a VGR bet?
I'm not VGR betting. I'm just saying.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I mean, we
That's
can
what
roll
I
the tape
thought.
back. I mean, nobody was correcting me when I said it, so. And I thought I asked you, but maybe I did not. But Ndune
Okay.
is like the night boss that you end up fighting later in the line.
Yeah, that's
You
what I
guys,
thought. Okay.
I don't think you guys ever got to that point. But I
No,
really
I know what
like.
you're talking about.
Yeah, but you never got to that point. You might have saw
I
some of it.
said no, no, but I know what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But I really like the part of the game where you have this text bubble and you're pretty much dealing with this knight that in these creatures that apparently want to take your soul. And throughout the entire game, this Indune Knight person is nothing but a nuisance. She's throwing spears at you as you walk on the board. You have to dodge her spears coming out of the ground, and you finally get to fight her. And as you're fighting her, as you read her text boxes and you notice her attacks are changing, you start to feel bad for her, and you start to actually feel for this knight because she takes the mask off and you fight her and she's a really tough boss. And then she gets into saying like, "Oh, I'm doing this. I need to do this to protect these guys. Like this is what I really need to do." And you end up beating her, and then she's like, "Okay, I'm not done yet. I won't fall." And then she comes back and gets a little bit more health, but you can see she starts to fade away as she's attacking, and her attacks get slower and slower and slower, and she gets sad. And it's like it's crazy that this boss has been nothing but a nuisance to me the whole game. I'm fighting her, and without any voice acting from anybody, I'm just reading the dialogue and noticing their actions. I'm starting to feel for this person that was a nuisance to me the entire game. Like I feel bad for her. Like, and this is what this game does, and I feel like if you go into it with the right mindset and be extremely open, because it wasn't my type of game at first, I actually started to really like it and appreciate the dialogue. And I don't even read. I don't even know if I've read a full big book in my life that's more than like 200 pages. But yeah, I can really appreciate it. And the fighting system was very unique to me, and I really liked it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So let me ask you this: is it fair enough to say that you would come back to this game and play it again?
I'll probably come back in the next couple of days and beat it. I
Okay.
enjoyed this game a lot.
Larry, you want to take a vacation with me on this game?
Um. So are you asking me if I'm gonna come back to this?
Yeah, you Aiden can play while we go on vacation, or you want to stay and play with Aiden while I take a trip out of town because I'm not returning.
No. I'm Aiden was more exciting than the multiple hours I've put into this. The little 10-minute rant you went on. I appreciate the passion. You drew a story that I kind of like. Oh wow! But then
Yeah.
I'm thinking back, like I don't want to go back to this. It's on my Switch. I may some point down the road be looking at it like, man, I'm gonna give this shit a try because I think there's a sequel for this too, somewhere. But yeah, right now, no, I'm burying this shit and moving on. I mean, I'd rather hang out with CJ and play Tetris at the moment. I mean, really,
Yes, dude.
that's how I
Yes.
feel. Uh,
Yeah. So I mean, kind of to loop back to it, Larry. If you had a buddy at work that said, "Hey, man, I saw the VGR podcast posted about Undertale. I haven't got a chance to watch it yet. Give me the rundown. Do you think I should play it? I mean, what are you telling him?"
oh man, because of the way we've talked about it here, I don't want to preface anybody on it. Like I say, I'll say that I had to be convinced to go further than I did to be understood. Like I watched the video, basically gave you 10 minutes of what you're supposed to, how you're supposed to kind of get this. Because at first, like I said, I just wasn't grasping what I was trying to get a hold of. But with any random person, I would take a little bit of maybe questioning to, do you like to read? I mean, but I think you get that out of any RPG just the same, like you say, you'll see that in Pokemon and all that. Man, for myself, I would just basically tell you, I'm never going to play this again. So, I mean, but if you want to give it a shot, that's up to you. But no, I don't. It's not a thing I enjoyed, and I like I said, I enjoy RPGs. So I don't know how I'd sell this to anybody. So you got nothing better to do. That's the only thing that you got in front of you. Sure, knock it out. But otherwise, I hear Tetris is
Fair.
available with AA batteries.
Hey, I can kind of back you up a little bit there. I think you kind of might have swayed me a little bit unironically to the other side a little bit when you kind of mentioned to a random person because really hearing from your side, from Aiden's side, and then finding out I'm a little bit in the middle. I think there's a lot of interpretation into this game about how much do you want to get into it. And yeah, if you really are looking for something to play that you can play by yourself, if it's something that you want to pick up before bed and play 30 minutes a couple times,
If you want to play with
sure,
yourself
pick it
before
up.
bed, then
Yeah, if
pick this game.
you want to play with yourself before bed, pick the game up. If if you're okay with, I can think of a couple friends in my mind that I could think of that maybe I could be like, hey man, I think you could enjoy this. Me personally, I didn't enjoy it though, so I would say for the general person, I would most likely say, nah, if you catch it on sale, maybe, but I don't think I would recommend it overall. And I think Aiden probably agrees, so we'll skip right over him there.
I I would say if you're looking to play this game just to beat it, I wouldn't play it. I'm saying this is an RPG, like it's different from anything you've ever played. If you want to play it just for if you want to experience the game and you have an open mind and you want to try it, I want to say 100% go try it, because if you welcome it, I feel that you will enjoy it a lot. And I mean, I from the cozy aesthetic to some of the cute designs of some of the monsters to some sick designs to the music to the level designs to the interaction between the mobs and monsters to the friends you make along the way, whether it be Papyrus or that little bird girl that has an obsession with Undune that end up becoming your friend, even though or Sans, but something's fishy about that guy. If you wanna if you want to have that experience, go for it. But if you're looking for any other, you're looking for an RPG, a new one to be like some of the other ones you played, you're just not gonna find enjoyment in it. But yeah, I would
It's
100%
valid enough.
recommend it.
Valid enough. Let's see.
I'm going to rebuttal towards this second here.
It's fine.
Yes.
Um, I don't. I, I don't. I know I've probably spit it out several times, and I know, like I said, I've mentioned classic RPGs, but a lot of them are based off of the idea of stories. I think that's what makes an RPG good because it puts you in the middle of it. I just don't know if I wasn't able to find myself be relatable to this kid. If I just didn't care enough, I mean, to some degree, I feel like I was even more annoyed by Papyrus to the point, like I say, I thought his name was Pharaoh. Um, I mean, the only thing I think I've agreed with you thus far on is Sans seemed fishy as shit. And I'm
Yes.
surprised actually he hadn't backstabbed you at some point, which you hadn't completed it yet, so there's still a chance for that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I have no fucking idea. He's a little shady fucknut for all I know at this point. Um, I guess as I say, it's your taste of stories, and it just didn't do it for me because I couldn't get into it. I couldn't find it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, maybe I am expecting to have a fantasy adventure or something, but it just didn't work for me at all. And but yeah, like I said, I didn't. I wanted to try to be open to it to feel it, like I say, and this episode gave me a reason to. My daughter tried to convince me to play it years ago when she finally beat it and went through it. So you gotta really try this. I tried. I didn't get it. I actually didn't get through the first getting through the cow lady. Um, this first go around, I didn't get through the cow lady. And I had to go back and someone explain to me what the fuck I'm doing. And then, like I said, I got through that and I've gone through it and I've grinded through it and tried to get to it, but it just, I didn't like it.
I got a rebuttal to your rebuttal. I think if you're looking for it to be relatable, I mean, this is the opposite of game. I mean, you're a little kid that fell into a pit and you have to go through this maze and defeat puzzles in this weird underground town with monsters that are trying to steal your soul. I mean, that's never personally happened to me, but uh, I feel like most RPGs I probably can't relate to it unless they have an RPG about eating and playing video games, and maybe I'd relate to it. But I mean,
It's
Work
out there.
simulator. Yeah, work simulator.
yeah. But I don't know. I kind of disagree with everything you're saying. I liked the interaction with Papyrus. I think he was funny. He was an idiot. He was like a very overconfident idiot that really thought super highly of himself in a joking manner. Like, and
Yeah.
I thought it was comical, and it's gonna sound gay, but it was kind of like cute to see his interactions with like later down the line when he calls you and he's like, and like talks to you about some random something about like you wearing this bandana. He's like, okay, but I might have told this guy you're wearing a bandana, so you might want to take that off, like something like that, like just
The,
stupid interactions. And not only that, I mean, as you play the game, you understand the story even more, and it kind of makes you appreciate it. Uh, I don't know what to say. I think we just have it's just one of those games where we're two different guys with two different experiences, and one liked it a lot more than the other. And I feel like that's the special. That's why it's special. The VGR podcast is special. You're gonna have different opinions here. You're gonna have very different opinions, and that's what we have on this episode. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all
Now
I
I
got.
feel like I'm here. We got the first ever VGR WWE match. I'm the stern but fair referee here. I can see
Whatever,
where
Shawn Michaels.
Hey, hey, you're a referee, but you
can see where Larry's
definitely
going
lean
right
on
here.
somebody's side. You lean on one side, trying to
Hey,
be
you know, Larry, I
trying
can
to be
see
down
what
the
you're
middle,
saying. Aiden, I
but
can see what you're saying. That's a tech. All right, Larry, you got 2 free throws. This guy's pissing me off.
because he's told me he's told me
That's another tech, dude.
when
I
we were
mean,
on
I'm
a
trying to be
call
fair here.
when we were on a call, he's like, dude, I did not like this game. I was like, and this was before I really gave it my fair second shot, and I was like, yeah, dude, I didn't like it either. So,
I mean, but I guess before I say anything, since I did pick it, do either one of you want to add to kind of some closing thoughts, or did you get it out of the system before the WWE SmackDown edition?
I think closing thoughts. Music was awesome. I like the cozy stage design. I like the characters and their interactions and how you actually feel for the characters without any sort of voice actor. It's really unique, and I don't understand how one developer made this game. I really enjoyed it, and I liked the mechanics, like the fighting mechanics, like the story. It's pretty sweet.
Fair enough.
Um, the only thing I can add is props to Toby Fox for what you've done. I don't want to. I know you're listening, Toby. I don't want to disrespect you for what you've done. I respect the idea because you've gone beyond anything I've been capable to do in my life. Not my thing, dude. And that's just all I got. Just really just does not work for me in any way, shape, or form. Like I say, it might be in my brain some point, but I really think it's gonna wash out probably sooner than later.
Valid enough. Hey, to mash it up, like I've been this whole time, I've been this mediator kind of this episode. Um, I have a strong appreciation for this game. I really like the idea, the concept, and I think it was executed well. But what I like to think of when I think video games is I really want to enjoy what I'm playing. And for me, I think Larry, cup of tea is a good way to put it. It's just it's not up my alley. I thought it would be more. Um in a way, it kind of I was underwhelmed by it. Maybe because of expectations. It's kind of one of those things when you hear about something enough times and then you're like this is about to be awesome and then it's just not as awesome to you personally. Other than the soundtrack, I wasn't super impressed, but I think one thing we definitely all three agree on is shout out Toby Fox for taking his idea, bringing it to life, and executing it well. And I think this is a niche. It's like a specific type of game. And I think with certain people it hits really hard, and with others they're just not going to be into it. But it feels like a passion project, and I mean, if the goal, most time the goal of a passion project is to get what you want out there, and like you said, your daughter can appreciate it. Aiden, you obviously can appreciate it. I got some friends that probably could, but here I'm gonna have to say Larry might be my winner if I'm putting up hands. Uh,
Yeah,
I just
you
it's
side in one
not
direction,
my cup
so
of tea. That's what makes you beautiful. I just it's not my cup of tea, but I can appreciate it. So, Aiden, I know you're swinging hard on it. Let's hear that score. Let's hear it 1 through 10
I'm
VGR score. Let's
diverting.
hear it.
I'm the outlier here. I'm saying my score last.
Oh shit.
I'm laying down
Okay.
the law.
Larry, you want to talk to me first then?
Aiden ain't having none of it. None of it.
None of it.
Um, I know early on we talked about this. We documented, what we thought what our initial thoughts were, see whether we could convince each other to move on it. A smidge.
0.5, I
Um,
think. I'm guessing.
yeah, well, not even that much. Ah,
Perfect.
I hate to go through it again. It's not my game. It's not something I enjoyed. Um, And I think, like I said, I don't know if this has become the solid factor for what we do, but I think it's becoming the solid factor for the way I'm going to grade games pretty much throughout. And that's pretty much fun and how you feel about it. And I gave more appreciation to Toby because Toby I didn't even think of when I was playing it. But 3.5, 3.5 is all I could do for this. I literally, not the worst game I've ever played, but boy, I did not have a good time at all. It was a drag to try to get through this all this week. I fell asleep so many times playing this fucking game. It just didn't do it for me at all.
Hey, it is what it is. Aiden, I know you want to go last, so I'll talk about it. But I sit very similarly. Shout out Toby Fox. Shout out the soundtrack for being what it was. But as a big sports ball kind of guy here, can't ask the quarterback to carry the team completely. And the soundtrack here being the quarterback in my eyes, still just gonna be a 3.9 win team. So 3.9 out of 10, really what it gets for me. Aiden's fucking fuming over here, dude. He is
I
not
just don't
happy.
agree.
He's personally friends with Toby, and he's not happy about it.
Listen,
Which,
me and
like I said,
Tobe,
shout out
me and
Toby
Tobe go
Fox.
way back, and this is definitely going to be our biggest point differential. I might bring us up to past a 5 with my score.
Yeah.
I have a score. I actually moved up 0.1 decibel from what I originally wrote down because I talked myself into it.
He convinced you. He
I talked
convinced you.
as I was thinking even farther and disagreeing with you even more. I talked myself up 1 decibel point. I'm going a 9.5.
Damn.
Wow.
Damn.
I really like this
That
game.
is
If you guys notice
I
I was late, it's because I was like, oh, I'll play a little bit before the podcast, and I just forgot to check my phone, and I was like, oh, I've been playing this for the past hour and a half. So I mean,
so this is the third best game you've played throughout the series, Aiden, in your eyes.
I couldn't. It might be number one. I might have to change my other scores.
Wow. Wow, we're
I
dropping
really
Super
enjoyed this
Mario
game.
3 and Ninja Gaiden at that rate. Wow.
It
That
it
is
might
a
it,
that is a
it's contention for top 3. It's definitely top 3 that I've played so far out of my favorite games. I really like this game. What can I say?
hey.
well,
Hey, we're all
statistically, you're
entitled to
correct.
our
Yeah.
yeah, as I say, we're all entitled to our opinions here. Sorry to sandbag you, Aiden. Aiden rates it a great game. Me and Larry give it a bad score. Puts us at an average game of a VGR 5.6, which probably eats Aiden alive. But hey, it is what it is. That's kind of what we're here for. This shows kind of the bridge in our play styles. Like Larry, you said, I agree with you. I grade a lot of my games about enjoyability, and to me, at the end of the day, that's what I want the most out of a video game is to enjoy it. So, shout out Undertale. Kind of glad we touched on it, but hey, it is what it is sometimes, and this is what it is this time. So,
Well, I think if nothing else, we've at least proven now to everybody that we're not just all sandbagging or being happy with the same thing. There is different things here, which different people, different opinions, different thoughts, which is important, but also on the same token, I think it gives a little more gravitas. That's a fancy dollar word right there.
yeah, okay.
For all the games that we did kind of agree with and meet up on, but I don't know. Can't say it's a good game or bad game, but for Larry, this is a bad game. It's not my thing. That's it. That's all I got, people. It's not my game.
And
Aiden,
that's
I got a
fun.
question real quick.
Hmm.
You want to change your answer to "Are you happy?" or are you feeling less happy right now?
I'm not less happy. I mean, I that's why I wanted to write our answers down before because I knew there was going to be a huge differential. I just wanted to. I knew that prior because I was talking with CJ and as he said, dude, I wish I picked a different game. And I was like, a couple days ago, I was like, yeah, I didn't enjoy the game when I first played it. But as I played it more, I was like, holy shit, dude, I actually really like this game. I'm getting into it. So I knew there was going to be a big differential. I mean, that just proves on the channel there's going to be differing opinions. We're not always going to just agree with each other and play great games. Sometimes our opinion on what's a great game is going to differ, and you're going to get that. I mean, if we were rating movies or rating food or rating anything, we're going to have a different opinion, and it showed here that our taste buds are not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I'd like to
I
plug
think.
in. Oh no, you go first. Mine's way less relevant.
Oh no, go ahead. I was gonna stand in the pitcher's mound and throw one out you. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, just to plug in a little Kanye that might fit the theme here, as we
Mhm.
typically do here now. This is from a song called "Bound 2" by Kanye West. It's a great song, and based on the fact that you can kind of do a couple different things with combat here. I know I got a bad reputation. Walk around always mad reputation. Leave a pretty girl sad reputation. Maybe start a fight club. Rad reputation. That's what you can do in Undertale. You can do any of those things you want. Talk to them, fight them, walk around with a bad reputation, leave pretty girls with a sad reputation. That's what you can do here in Undertale.
I'll have to admit at this point, I made it up to where Papyrus talks to, I guess, the Night Lady or whatever, the initial selling you out point,
Mm-hmm.
and I've thrown one punch this whole damn match so far, and that was by accident because I actually did mean to hit fight, and I hit that instead. But um, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm playing this right still or not at this point.
Yeah, I don't think that
Um,
doesn't sound that doesn't sound right. Do you flee everything?
no, no, I did everything. Like I said, I talked to him. I flirted. I ignored. I did all this shit, and it's just like I said. At some point, I get to the point I could spare. A couple of them I did flee, where I just didn't want to fight them. I'm trying to get back to. I died, and I'm trying to get back to
Yeah,
the fight
yep.
out with Papyrus out there. Um, but yeah, like I said, I think I threw like one punch through this whole thing.
Hmm.
So
I threw a lot of
Ah,
punches.
dude, I was a piece of shit, dude. I literally did not spare, flee, or talk to anybody. I just beat the shit out of everybody I saw. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had the
there's
weapon where
some
you had to keep
motherfuckers.
mashing A. Yeah, so it's like, boom, it hit, and then it's where I beat the shit out of people.
I did a mix of
I
what
got
my
that
heart
rad
was telling
reputation.
me.
You literally
Maybe that
have, yeah.
changes the. Maybe that's what changes the whole
You
perspective on
gotta
this whole
play.
damn
You gotta
thing. I
play with
don't know.
heart.
Yeah.
True, true.
You don't have enough
Well,
heart.
I guess, like I said, I'll go back here on this pitcher's mound. Let's see here. We were talking about something that we all kind of felt a little different about. But CJ, it
Yes,
seems
sir.
somehow you arranged to have two in a row. You piece of shit. But tell us how's that gonna happen? What we got coming for us, man?
Back to back, getting back on track. No, I'm not a rapper. My rhymes are whack. We're getting on to Gargoyles Quest 2, recommended to me by my good friend Aidan in the house. So we're gonna find out what these gargoyles are questing on for the second time. It's gonna be interesting. I'm kind of excited. If you recommend a game to somebody, it's normally got a little bit of weight of why. So when we did this, I think we all picked games for reasons for the other person. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see why Aiden picked this, and we're gonna dive into it next week, aren't we? Aren't we? It's
Oh
gonna be great.
yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna give it a shot. But I guess on this token, then, hey, you want to close this out?
Sure, I'll close this out. Guys, this is VGR Podcast. This just shows we have different opinions here. You're going to see more of it. You want to come tune in, check out our opinions, turn on those notifications for each time we drop. Leave a like on the video, comment, send us an email, VGRpodcast, or VGRpod@gmail.com. Send us some questions, maybe send some game recommendations. We might play them in the future. Who knows? But yeah, check us out on Spotify for audio versions. If you're listening on Spotify, check us out on YouTube to see our pretty faces. Other than that, this is VGR Podcast. If anyone else does not have anything else to say, we are out. Peace.
Bye, y'all.